Hang on one second. I'm going to mute myself.
Sure. I think he's letting out a ripper. The homeless guy moment. Thanks for checking out Party Like a Rockstar podcast. I'm your host, Joel Miller. Today's episode is brought to you by Misha's Kind Foods. They're an LA-based small business making the world's finest non-dairy cheese spreads on the market today. They're delicious and healthy, made from a cashew and almond milk, and blended with various locally sourced fresh herbs, vegetables, and spices. There's no vegetable oils, soy, fillers, starches, or nutritional yeast. It's lactose-free, paleo, keto, kosher, Parev, and 100% vegan. Enjoy the show. But how many high schools participate in the Dallas High School Music Awards? And are they all singing Justin Bieber or what?
Right. I have no idea.
Actually, I don't know. Justin Bieber might be old hat right now. I keep picking on the guy. Bring him up because he's like the only one I know who's on the radio. I don't know who the fuck these guys.
The song WAP. It's it's pretty, like, the lyrics are pretty intense, right? You know, they made a Kids Bop song out of that. Like a week
No
ago.
way.
Yeah. They totally changed the lyrics and stuff, but they made a Kid Bop song out of it. And I'm like, come on, guys. We're really getting you know, like, you go back when I was younger, man, they thought rock and roll was the devil stuff, man. You know what I mean? You come out with Stones or Marino or something. They're like, you come across the Bible Belt.
But after all these years, you learned it really was true.
Oh, look, they would pull over the tour bus and they would come on the tour bus, man, and look at us like, we were just the devil worshipers, man, all a bunch of long-haired hippies, and they'd have us off the bus, you know what I mean, searching us. And as soon as we cross the line into the next state, boy, here comes the blue lights again. It's like, wow, man, this is intense. You know what I mean?
I was out with Godsmack, and so they have cool. They had a lot of swag, and so I'm wearing the swag, and it's all satanic shit. And we had a couple times you go into the bar in Texas actually, and you get a lot of looks, and that look means get the fuck out of the bar. It's pretty much a universal language of leave now. So
when we did the zombie tour with Korn, the Return of the Dreads, in 2016, one of our merch shirts.
Marcos, we're gonna be in trouble.
I know, sorry, man, but I quit doing that. But
we're gonna be
our
like
zombie shirts.
Sorry,
no, but one of them is like really, really gnarly. It's whenever what is the album, the Satanic Orgy, whatever celebration.
So yeah,
album, the one that's got everyone's fucking in a UFO on that.
It's the Bedtime Stories album. That's why the liner notes have all the words in it. It's so you can read it to your kid. Yeah.
Well, so this T-shirt was just greatness, man. It had this naked chick and this alien with a big old dong just jizzing all over her back with neon green jizz. So the second show on that run was in Salt Lake City.
You should wear that shirt to the High School Musical Awards ceremony.
Well, the second show was Salt Lake City, and they wouldn't let Rob sell it in the venue.
Oh, no way.
So naturally, Rob was not very happy. So what we did is we got merch to approve, and we all wore it.
Oh Lord!
Every one of us in the crew wore it. Rob comes out of.
I think that was Rob's way of getting you all to finally change your shirts.
Right,
it was like a well orchestrated plan to get you guys to like bathe and wear different.
But it was great. He came out of getting his massage, and we're all just like chilling on the dock nonchalantly. And he comes out and looks, and he goes, "And that's why I hire you guys."
Yeah, that's cool. All right, let me introduce you guys here. Since Daniel Joseph Courtney Dawson is the LD for Black Label Society. He's toured with Pantera, Slipknot, Rob Zombie, and Lamb of God. Marcos Pena played in various bands, including a band named Deuce, which was a favorite opener for the Ramones. As an audio engineer, he's worked for the Rolling Stones, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, and Jefferson Starship. In addition to being an audio engineer, he's a solar, wind, geothermal engineer and an environmental scientist.
Yes.
I figured my first big question would be for you guys is this. What are the best songs with the word wind in the title? I'm going to give you guys a few because thinking might not be the forte for tonight. So She's Like the Wind by Patrick Swayze.
Oh, wind.
Yeah, wind. You're a wind specialist, Marcos. So She's Like the Wind, which is Patrick Swayze from what album? Dirty Dancing, guys. Dirty
Winds
Dancing.
of Change.
It's a Winds of Change was coming up. We got actually that was number 2. Then we've got Blowing in the Wind with Bob Dylan. Ride Like the Wind.
Ride Like the Wind.
Christopher Cross. And Wind Beneath My Wings with Bette Midler. Dust in That There Wind. Candle in the Wind. And I think my favorite might be Against the Wind.
That's my wife's favorite. Yeah, definitely.
Might be a good one. Dan, how are you rigging with those fingernails?
I put on gloves.
Don't they break in the gloves?
No.
No, it's an
All
art.
ladies know what they're doing.
He's got it down to an art, man.
That's pretty crazy.
I tell you what.
Show us some nails, man.
Do what?
Show us the nails. There you go.
Being gone from a console. Being gone from a console for over a year, my mom actually asked me whenever I went and did the Lil Durk show. She was like, "You gonna be able to operate the console?" And I'm like, "I'm wondering about the touch screens." You know, but because M82s, it's all soft touch screens. I can actually use the nail, and I'm more precise.
Oh, use it like a tapper,
a stylus.
A stylus.
Have you gone to get your nails done with your mom? I would love to go in there with you. The people in the shop must be like, "Holy fuck, he might kill us if we don't do a good job."
Right? No, it's great because I've been doing it for years now, and come to find out, you go in, the little Asian ladies, and they're always talking shit about somebody. But the thing is I go in, and because it's like, dudes get manicures and pedicures, but they rarely get colors. So every time I go in, it's a new place. It's like, we don't talk about people like you. It's like, behind your back, it's like, this is a treat for us. It's like, cool.
Yeah, right. That's great. I love it.
So your favorite place is still Mexico, right? To get your nails done?
Yeah, of course.
So can you walk to stuff in Mexico City where you're at? Like restaurants and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I refuse to drive. I don't think I have the nerves to do it.
Yeah.
Because, traffic's just chaotic. So it's like, if I can't, taxi or shoot, I'll ride the subway. I don't care.
The prices in Mexico, a lot better than the States, right?
Oh, God, yes. And the Mexican food's better, too.
I bet.
So, like, when I was there for my daughter's birthday in March, we went down to Tepoztlan to go visit friends, which that's in the mountains, just over the mountains from Mexico City. And they were taking us around, showing us places that were for sale there. And it's like $350,000 US, and you get an 8,000 square foot house on 2 acres of land on the mountain.
Wow,
yeah, you're not going to get that in Miami here.
Yeah, but do
Miami,
you
know, a nice condo,
You can buy property, but if it's on the ocean, you only keep it for a certain amount of years and it goes back to the government, right?
99-year lease.
Yeah, so it's the same as it used to be. But if it's not on the ocean, it's yours.
Yeah. As of now, I can only do 99-year lease. But my wife is a citizen, so she can buy it outright.
Oh.
So until I get my citizenship, then, I can't buy it outright. So.
Well, what if your kid buys it from? What if your kid buys it from you?
Yeah. But it's easier that my wife's already a citizen, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough. That's cool. How's your Spanish?
Terrible.
Oh. Thought you were going to say muy bueno, asshole. Next question.
It's not as good as the German.
Yeah, that's right. You were saying, all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get along, I get around just fine.
Well,
I can find everywhere I need to find and, order food and whatnot. So
there's a pretty big German influence in Mexico City. Yeah. I don't know if it's still there, but it was.
Kind of. It gets hard to find certain foods, but it can be done.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Joe earlier before you got on, and like I go back to like 1976. I got to push some boxes for Jay Giles. I was a lifeguard at a pool, and they came and stayed at the hotel, and the dude was working on a song. He didn't have a guitar, and I get to talking to him. I had a '68 Mustang Fastback, silver sparkly thing, and he liked it. And he said, "Man, I need a guitar." And I said, "Well, I got a nice Martin in the back of that Mustang." So I went and got my guitar, and he played it a little bit. And next thing you know, he says, "Hey, you into this stuff?" And I was a kid, right? And I'm like, "Well, yeah, man, this all looks pretty cool." He's like, "Well, why don't you come back, to the venue?" And it's called Shenandoah Summer '76, West Virginia. My mom had moved us out to the country, and they're doing this gig at this racetrack at an infield. And he said, "Why don't you come back?" And I went back, and they're really nice, man. They let me push some boxes. That was cool, right? I didn't know that was a job later on. I just thought it was fun.
It was
And,
before they had wheels on the boxes, Dan.
yeah, but this was a little setup. Their entire PA fit in a yellow rider truck. You know those yellow little box truck things?
Sure.
Yeah, their entire PA was in
Yeah.
there. And then once they got it offloaded, that became the green room.
And this was Jay Giles, or Jay Giles was performing there?
Yeah, this was Jay Giles' band, right? And
Wow.
so this was like say '76, man. We're not talking, big semis full of gear like Stones, with the 17 semis, and this was the entire rig comes in a little truck, right? And the show was great. Got to push some boxes, hung out backstage, got to smoke up a little bit with the band and some of the guys, and that was my first exposure, man. I guess I was kind of hooked at that point. I said, "Wow, this is kind of cool. I think I probably want to do this at some point."
So did you become a local? What did you do to keep going?
No, that was just like an exposure thing. West Virginia, nothing goes on. I got to push some boxes again, I think, for Lionel Richie when he came and played at the racetrack. But that was just because I was in the local band in the high school, and they needed somebody to come help. And I said, "Oh, hey, I helped with Jay Giles. Let me help with this one, right?" I was in theater before that, local theater, and I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, when I was like 13, got written up in the Washington Post. This writer came to see the Fantastics production that we were putting on at a little place called Cool Font in Berkeley Springs. And I guess I did a good job on the lighting. It was a summer stock thing, right? Ended up writing an article about me, and it went hooked up by the UPI API. And this was an old board with switches. And then 6 power soaked dimmers that, like, the more you turn the dimmer, the thing just went, got really loud, right? But apparently I was able to put on a good enough little production that I got written up. So, that kind of, like I say, everything happens like for a reason. I didn't plan on any of this stuff. I actually went in the Army at 18. I was down in Nicaragua and things went bad. I was on a jump and ended up being guest of the FSLN for a little while and injured. So I got released from the military. Gonna just pass the rest of what happened there. So it kind of was a little what we'd call now probably PTSD.
Yeah.
So I ended up hitchhiking out in California, up and down the coastal, the PCH there, and got picked up by a tour bus. Right now, this is like coincidence stuff that you just can't. You don't plan on it. This just happens, right? And these guys are like, "Oh, I drive the tour bus." The other guy was with him. It's like, "I drive a semi." And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And they said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, it's out of the Army. I'm a little screwed up right now." And they're like, "Well, hey, man, come into LA with us." And they got me a job working on Dukes of Hazzard. Basically, I stood there and hold a boom mic, right? Well, towards the end of that year, the Stones were going to do a little tour in the U.S. I got to look on my sheet here. That would have been, I guess, like the fall of like 81. And I got tired of doing the holding the mic thing. So I got to go push some boxes on that tour, which was kind of like the start of my pro career. And then after that, like I say, it was just a couple tours. Like I say, got to do the marathon tour. That was pretty fun. It was the fall, I'm going to say, of 80. The marathon tour was 80, 81. That was Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush. And at this point, I'm really hooked now, man. I'm working. But
Yeah.
I didn't plan on doing this, like I said, and I had a little exposure, went in the Army, and then the fact that a tour bus would pick me up when I was in a really screwed up spot, that's like God, man. You know what I mean? That's more like karma. Again, when they talk about leaving home to join the circus, I think that's what happened at that point.
The circus freaks were the Rolling Stones.
Well, you know, it wasn't really them. It was the driver that drove the semi
Sure.
and the guy that drove the tour bus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like I didn't hit like it wasn't like the artist picked me up and they knew I even did sound or lighting or anything or been in bands. When I got with these bands, the first thing that would happen is I would end up playing a little guitar, a little bass with them. And they're like, "What the hell, man? This kid can rock." You know what I mean? So I'm playing with like really good guys. I'm not in their band, but you know, they like to jam, right? Like when you're just hanging out. So I got to jam with some really, really cool people. And so that's just kind of how I got into business, man. Like it wasn't like everybody
How
asked.
did you learn sound though? You just stopped pushing cases and worked your way up and
Actually, I guess this guy Lee, who was a sound engineer, he kind of showed me some stuff, kind of took me under his wing. At the time, you got to remember now, there wasn't even parametric EQs. The first parametric EQ we got came in a box, man. And that was on I'm gonna say the Marathon tour. And we opened it up and we're like, what the hell is this thing, right? And it's like this real cool 4-band parametric EQ. And we're like, whoa, this is state-of-the-art technology, man. You know, back then boards were pretty simple. Louder, softer, man. You know what I mean? You could dial it out. Well, I took the thing and I put it on the kick drum and I played with it till I found that frequency and we got really nice kick drum out of it. And they're like, dude, that sounds great. So that was kind of like how I got to get some board time. And then after that, as the tours have progressed, people are tired towards the middle or end of the tour. And they're like, hey, why don't you sit at the desk for a while?
How did you get involved, Daniel?
So my dad was in local 126 IA forever, and that's how I got introduced. And then whenever I was 14 years old, I originally I wanted to do audio. So, but whenever I got my first job at 14, it was Johnny High's Country Music Review, and they weren't looking for an audio guy. So I just had to figure out lighting, you know, with help from my dad. But man, that was with an old, you know, like Leprechaun board for the conventionals, and then we had a bunch of track spots with a Cyberlight controller with the old joystick. You know, it's like, you want a circle? Sure, I can give you one circle. It's gonna take me an hour, come back.
Right.
You know, so I did that all through high school. I tried to do technical theater in high school, and I think I did maybe 1 year, and then I just couldn't deal with the prima donnas. And that's pretty much how I got into it. I remember whenever like the hard 1000s and 500s, it's like, oh man, this is great. I wouldn't want to touch one now, but
yeah,
you know, and it's our whole world's changed from 2 universes as a whole bunch to whatever, man. I've done EDM festivals where I'm on 36 to 40 universes. I spent a month programming.
Are you going back? Are you going out with Black Label Society here? Or I think they've got some.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a fall run. So I think it's only going to be like a month, maybe a month and a half. I've got the initial dates and I've sent in, for my bids from Gemini, because I prefer using Gemini because Jason Kane and I are really, good old buddies. So just waiting for them to shoot the number back to me and to management. That way management can go, that's too expensive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's always the way. So.
Did you see that Zakk Wylde video where he's playing the Hello Kitty guitar?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty great.
That dude is a hoot. I mean, he's so much fun, but it's like, I wonder, like with his wife, Barbara Ann, because as goofy as Zakk is, and we tease him all the time, it's like, dude, we need to take away your social media, but it's like, man, I'm surprised Barbara Ann had killed him during the shutdown. So they were back in the studio recently, and from what I heard, they recorded 30 more songs.
Wow.
To which my response was, no, it's like the set's already 2 hours long. What's it going to be? And I was talking to Alex Mungle from Ice Nine Kills and asking Alexandria, and he goes, no, Daniel. It's like, it's going to be an all-day event of just Black Label. He's like, they're going to have a crew go ahead of time to set up for the next one. I'm like, shut your mouth, dude. Because it's like, don't even give Zakk the idea. He will try and do it.
An all-day guitar session?
Yeah, he'll do it.
I guess it depends what food you get.
When I worked for Frank Marino, that dude could jam, man. And and he would go into like a Capitol Center or whatever in the daytime. You know, we're gonna do just like a little sound check, and he would just start going nuts, man. And like 3 hours later, he's just burning up guitars, man. You know what I mean? Because he's thinking of something. Or I think one time we were around Christmas, and I think that's when he started with that song, "A Little Town of Bethlehem." He starts playing like the thing, and next thing you know, he's jamming for a couple hours, and next thing you know, he recorded the song, right? But I was actually there when like he started working through those progressions, and it's really cool to watch these guys' minds work, man. The rest of us, like, I'm a bass player, man. I hear things like kind of one way. I hear the bass line and the drummer hooking up, right? And I never could figure out these lead guitar players, man. It's like we're over here playing this, and they just come along and start smashing bugs, man. And I'm like, where do you guys come up with this? Where's your brain? You know what I mean? It's a certain brain that does that. And I think that's kind of what separates the lead guitarist from the rest of the band. You know, we're all back here playing X, Y, and Z, and they come along and go, yeah, that's kind of cool, except for this. And you always got a kick out of lead guitar players, especially the good ones. Like I got to work for Aerosmith, and great guitar players, man. I was in 84, 85, back in the Saddle Tour. And it was 65 shows. By the end of the tour, I didn't know if we're coming or going, man. I'm like burned out, right? So we leave for a little while. We come back, and then it's Done with Mirrors tour. So this is going to be another long tour. But we had a break from, just check it. I think it was November. It was somewhere in November. I want to say like middle of November, end of November to January 16th. We had a break. So I go and I visit my mom in Maryland, and this dude named Ludi, there's a name for you. It's raining. I'm coming from actually the liquor store, another good story, right? And I'm coming around this turn, going to where my mom lives. He's coming the other way. It's raining really hard. He's blowing a joint. He spins out of control and hits me head on. Blam. Broke my wrist, right? Got this big nasty thing on here now, right? So I'm pretty much done, man. I can't play bass now. I'm off the tour. You know, my hands get like all the surgeries, all this cool stuff. I met my now wife, and I've been married 35 years, right? But that's during that time. So when I say nothing happens, it ain't supposed to happen. I thought my life was over, man. I'm off the tour, you know, arms in a sling, broken hand, right? Not going to play bass anymore. And I met my wife. So whatever God's plan is, it ain't our plan all the time, man. But there's this big plan out there. So then I think, well, I'm kind of done. So I like you're doing, Joel. I went into real estate. My mom had a real estate company, so I started selling new homes. I made a bunch of money, man. I sold like 500 new homes the first 2 years in the business.
A lot of houses.
Yeah. We had the monopoly on these houses in Maryland where they just built this new highway. So I think, okay, that's it. You know, I found this new thing, and I got called back in to do one show, right? And then the next thing you know, I'm like doing Naval Academy, doing all these like top acts from around the world, Russian National Ballet, the People's Republic of this, and the Siberian this, and so all these world famous like orchestras and ballets and symphonies. And I guess I did pretty good at it because they kept me around for a long time. But I really thought I was out of the business for a while, you know what I mean? And got sucked back in. Well, when I wasn't at the academy, I was doing all these one-offs, man. Gladys Knight, Nora Jones, Casey, Kool and the Gang, B-52, Styx, Journey, Michael McDonald, even Jars of Clay when they won their Dove Award, right? That's Christian stuff.
I remember
How I
like,
get
sort
how
of
I got it
90s.
again, yeah, and that's why I say it's all migrated out of the '80s into the '90s, and even up until like 2010. I was
I
at the
think that
Naval
was a
Academy.
list of Daniel's favorite bands in history.
Well, when you know that you're at the right place, man. 9/11, I got called into the White House to take care of their audiovisual needs. That's 9/11, man. You know, I mean, that's a pretty critical time. So, you know, like I say, when you think you start, you know, little summer theater in 1972 and you push a couple boxes in 76, and then all of a sudden you're putting in the Situation Room at the White House, you know what I mean? And you're handling all these critical functions, audiovisual functions that, you know, we're controlling our troops overseas. We got this whole 9/11 thing we're dealing with. They wanted a way to connect to all the police, fire departments, everything around the country. Got with a couple other guys, and we developed some systems. That's a hell of a migration. You know what I mean?
I was
But
about to say that had to have been a hell of a experience.
yeah, it was
Better
a
than
little,
doing the big show at the back room of the Waffle House.
yeah, it was a little intense, man. I got called in. Well, funny part was while I'm doing this, there's a band in Baltimore called Appaloosa. They're always the Beatles of Baltimore, man. Any place they go,
I don't remember. That's 70s stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's later. Now they're not doing. Jimmy died, heroin overdose. So now they're not doing their all original rock. Now they're doing cover band stuff, and they're doing like anything, you know, maybe 1,000 to maybe 5,000 people.
See, the
Um,
problem with that kind of band is like, who the fuck can spell Appaloosa? Can you imagine if we did like a tour? We did a tour with like, I don't know, fucking Rob Zombie and Kid Rock with the National Ballet
I like it.
Association or something.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck, man. That would be a good show.
But it's amazing. It's
Oh, yeah,
amazing how
man.
you wouldn't think it's a party, but it's a like I say, man. Audio is just a party. You know, when you're doing the president, like I got to do two inaugurations, and I got to do basically five sound for five presidents at some point, and you're talking 1.2 miles of sound. You know, I've done some pretty good rock gigs, man, but when you're working on the mall in DC, and you're going from the Capitol all the way to the Washington Monument, it's a line array every 600 feet. That's dropping power, you know, setting the delays and everything. So, like, actually, that's the biggest shows I've ever done, man. Is on the mall, 1.2 miles of sound. You know, you just don't get to do that, man.
No, that's
That's
crazy.
got to be some delay calculation nightmare.
You know, you think, Daniel, so I know you like Mexico City right now. You love it. And
Yeah.
because you're living there, do you think you have a notion of maybe retiring early because you can? Or is that not part of the game? Like, would you keep doing this
I
as
don't know
long as you could?
if I could, then I don't know. I don't know. I got a couple more decades left in me, so it'll be a little bit. You know, I
You
mean,
would keep going, because for now it's your thing. Other than not seeing your daughter, you know that again.
all right, but I mean, she's used to it, you know, because I mean that's all. She's only 5, and that's all she's ever known is me
Yeah.
to her. And the pandemic's actually been like really great because there's been a lot more time spent with her.
Yeah.
I don't know if my wife thinks that's cool because now she's just adopted my personality. So my wife just gets 2 of us. One of them's just miniature.
Is her nails black?
Nah.
What bands does she like? What bands does your daughter listen to? Is she listening to Mana?
She listens to Zombie and Slipknot, and I think Rammstein's her favorite still
Oh,
right now.
I love me some Rammstein.
But-
Yeah.
But man, we had to go through that Baby Shark phase, man. That was rough.
Woo, that's brutal.
It was pretty brutal.
Being a parent these
Because
days
she
is a
wanted
lot
to
of work.
do it all the time.
Well,
But
you're the
no,
daddy
we
shark.
did our last Rob Zombie show. Our last Rob Zombie show was actually Mexico City, before the pandemic, and Slipknot was there too. And my wife and kid, they came out, you know, hung around Rob and Piggy and John 5, you know, because apparently Ginger doesn't like kids, and he's like, sorry. So, but Rob was
It's
cool
like,
with
she
him.
listens
You
to your
know,
shit, dude. Be respectful.
yeah,
Listen, be
yeah,
respectful.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
But no, we wanted to go out the night before, but the night before was the Slipknot Evanescence incident. They ended up not playing, where Slipknot and Evanescence they canceled because the barricade was compromised apparently. So they canceled because they're like, it's not safe for us and it's not safe for the crowd. So nope. And then and it was funny too because I was telling everybody on the zombie camp, I'm like, look, when we hit the festival site, it's like, don't go walking around the neighborhood. That neighborhood is dangerous. It's by the airport. And then so we're sitting in the hotel after we heard that, Slipknot canceled. I'm like, so screw it, I'm not going out, to see anybody. And all of a sudden, here comes all the videos of, people pissed off. They stormed the stage, grabbed Will Hunt's drum kit, dragged it into the field and set it on fire.
Crazy.
See, and that the next day we were supposed to load in because we were headlining the second night, and we were supposed to load in at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Slipknot didn't even have their stuff off of the stage until 2:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So yeah. And then we had to walk around, inspect everything, make sure, everything was okay. So, but we had our show.
Nice. So are you the guy inspecting?
I was one of them.
I could see you being a pretty good inspector.
Well, I don't want to step onto an unsafe stage, and I definitely don't want the artist stepping onto an unsafe stage.
No, it's true. It's for sure.
We're doing like Aerosmith one time, and the crowd is rocking back and forth to a song, and you saw like one person fall on the end, and about 300 people, I think, fell like dominoes, man. So people got hurt, that kind of thing. And shortly after that, that they kind of stopped this big general admission thing, and you had to have a ticket and a location kind of thing. And this came at a time when people were just going to fly whatever the company sent out. And I'm like, whoa, guys, hold up a second. Let's just check this out. Let's take our time here a second,
I mean, you got to think about the fact that you're about to fly 30 to 40,000 pounds worth of shit over people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm good at the counting part.
We're talking about retiring. I go out now and I do some shows for a few people. Like last year, February 14th, I did a Jefferson Starship because they're like old people, old friends, great band, right? And I'll go out with some bands occasionally, but I'm pretty much retired. And you talk about life, and how I got into it. Let's just talk about how I got out of it. I went to school to become a solar wind geothermal engineer, and at the time I'm doing a lot of shows, and everything seemed pretty cool. Well, apparently years ago, I got a girl pregnant, not my wife. And we have 2 daughters, and the youngest one just graduated college. But apparently, I got another girl pregnant, and she had a kid. And I'd just gotten back in a relationship with this kid, and he was the magic 27, working on 28 years old age, and we had him in rehab. And he checked himself out on a Friday night, and he ended up dead, hit by a train at midnight.
Oh man!
And so that kind of hit me really hard. And Christmas that year, actually had a heart attack. I was so stressed out and so done with life, man, that I had a heart attack. I thought I was in control. I'd opened up this company, Green Planet. I think I sent you the list of who we were supplying tour gear for. And it was pretty impressive, right? So I think I got this all figured out. And man, life just powed me. So I had to go into cardiac rehab, went to St. Augustine, and this was really probably the lowest point ever.
What kind of music do they play there? Is it like Air Supply and like?
No, actually, believe it or not, man, there was a good local scene. I had a little PA with me, a little ISP technology rig. It was really nice.
See, that's the roadie spirit. Yeah, I'm rocking out in rehab.
And anyway, so I ended up hanging at bars and drinking alcohol. And
yeah, Marco's got degrees that are useful. I got degrees that are not useful. Well,
you have a master's in mathematics. How is that not useful?
But it's non-applied mathematics. It's pure. I was an algebraist.
Oh, okay.
Does that help with pool?
So I can tell you all about Zariski tangent spaces being isomorphic to the vanishing of the X functor, but I can't tell you what for fuck's sake that's useful for.
Pillow talk. Definitely
something.
good for pillow talk. That
Oh yeah,
would get
yeah.
anybody in the mood.
When I was doing my masters, I'd go round and round with analysts, but and I tell you what, you did you want to talk about some of the parties that we would have at conferences, man, especially with algebraists. It's like you had the applied mathematicians, and they were kind of boring. And all the algebraists, we get together at one of the professors' houses, and it would be insane.
So that's where the real party is, with the algebra guys, not with the mathematicians. Okay, good to know.
Dude, man,
So what's
the
insane? What did
drink
you
the
guys
drink
do?
was
Like,
on.
I mean, you've been out with some pretty big bands, so I believe you with the insane stuff. But I mean, what's insane for an algebra party? Like Yahtzee and bottles
Oh
of
no.
everything?
We'd all get tanked. Now, what some of the other people would do, I don't know. I'm sure there was powder involved.
So you guys are partying and you just talk about algebra stuff, right?
Yeah, or bullshit. So,
There's definitely a
it's
difference,
just
Marcos.
Hallucinogenics, man. I mean, if you really want to talk about how to reach that new level, if you're in an issue or you're trying to work on advanced mathematics or an advanced problem, I could imagine a lot of these guys are probably dropping half a tab and seeing if they could expand the universe a little bit.
I
can see
believe
that
it.
happening.
Einstein was a
Well,
partier. Einstein would tear shit up.
yeah. He always had that
Yep.
little vial of blow with him, right? Had the chicks hanging with him. Seen some pretty cool pictures of him, man. Yeah.
He was too
But
busy
no,
to comb his hair because he was partying so much. He had like bed hair forever because he was just in bed all the time.
Right.
well, look, Freud said that we shouldn't deny ourselves the simple pleasures in life. And of course, he liked his cocaine.
Yeah, but Freud's entire life was wanting to bang his mom, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, but he always said we shouldn't.
There's that little thing. I don't know. So what are you drinking in Mexico, Daniel? Are you Modelo or are you drinking Coors Light?
You guessed it right away. Modelo Especial.
Yeah, I like Modelo. I knew this
That's
guy
what
was
I get
smart.
on Zombie too, which is interesting because Zombie's like completely clean, vegan, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke cigarettes.
Sure.
But he'll buy us as much beer and wine as we want. So it was funny because I didn't do the first Twins of Evil because I was out doom crewing with Zakk.
Yeah.
And so I did the second one, the last one, and it was funny. I'm trying to remember who Manson's production manager was at the time, Doherty, and he was funny. He was like, I don't get it. He's like, it's like the last year whenever we did this, it's like it was all like something else for beer, and I'm like, oh, Yingling. He goes, yeah, but now it's on Modelo. I'm like, yeah, because I'm back. but like nobody on my bus was really helping me drink it, and on Zombie I get 96 a day.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there's 11 people on the bus, so everyone needs to
I said
chip
whoa
in.
because that's clearly not enough. That's what I meant.
No, exactly. Well, I mean, for me and another dude, that's clearly enough. But
yeah.
It started overflowing into Manson's crew bus, and then finally, like for 3 days, they were trying to give it to me, trying to get me to come take it because it was taking up too much room in their bays. And finally, it's like before one load in, it's like I get a call on the radio from their guitar tech, Shannon. He was like, God damn it, Daniel. You get your fucking ass over to the bus and get your fucking beer off the bus. I'm like, well, where am I going to put it?
Yeah,
we don't have room in
living in Mexico, man. I mean, I would wait till we got to LA and then I would just clear out the entire bottom of the bus.
Well, that's something funny too. And I started doing this whenever I did a South American tour with Lamb of God. I got tired of not having a beer right away after I got out of the airport, So I was like, well, fuck this. I'm just going to start checking a couple of them in my check bag, And it was funny because the guys never really noticed until we were in Bogota, Colombia. And it was like the little van to come pick up the gear was like running 30 minutes late. It's like, this is ridiculous. And Randy Blythe is sitting there blabbing about who knows what the hell he's blabbing about. But and I'm standing right next to him. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have beers in my bag. So I just reached in, grabbed one out, and opened it and started drinking it. I get halfway through it before Randy notices, and he looks and he goes, "Where the fuck did you get that from?" And I just point to my bag, and he goes, "Never mind."
Never mind.
It's like figures. And our PA
It's next to the pink dildo on the bottom if you want one.
Oh, no. But it's a black one. No, anyway, I did it for Black Label through South America as well. And our PA, Selena was like, "What the hell are you doing that for?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to leave them in the hotel. It's like, plus then I've got one already." She was like, "You can't wait until we get to the next hotel." And I go,
"Oh, they'll get lonely."
Yeah, they get lonely.
Exactly. You got a notorious story, Daniel. Tell us about the when you went into Baltimore.
Oh God, this is a great one. So, all right, on Twins of Evil, on the last one, we started rehearsals in Baltimore. Flew in on a Sunday, so I was drinking while I was packing. That was my first mistake. And so anyway, I go to sleep on the plane. So at least I was there. And I wake up, and so I always wear flip flops. I don't care. I'm a chancla man. All right. And so unless I'm working, so I always put my shoes in my carry on and a change of clothes. So I wake up on the plane halfway there, and I'm looking at my carry on backpack. And I'm like feeling it. And it's like this isn't right. There are no shoes in this. Okay. So I'm like, all right, maybe my drunk ass, actually put them in my check bag. It's like, I'm just going to hope for that. It's like, but I know for a fact there's a 6-pack of Modelo Especials in there. All right. So I arrive, and Mark and Shannon arrived at the same time I did. And I'm telling them, it's like, I'm hoping that my shoes are in there, but there is a 6-pack of Modelo. I promise you. I know for a fact. So here comes my bag on the carousel, and I open it up, and there's no shoes. So and Mark starts laughing, and Shannon just, because they know me very well, and Shannon just goes, "If it would have been anyone else but you, I would have been surprised." It's like, but it's you. I'm not surprised. So Sunday afternoon in downtown Baltimore, I've got to go find a place to buy fucking shoes. And everything's closed in downtown Baltimore pretty much at like by 6 o'clock. But thank God there was like a Marshall's or something open. And it's like, I don't care as long as they fit, I'm buying. So, but it was too funny,
And you got some new shoes.
And I got some new shoes too.
Got some new kicks. I wanted to be called Daniel Dawson, and they said no. There's already a roadie who we gave a nickname to.
Let's see, on Zombie, they just call me homeless because I always look homeless, which I don't know how many times security at hotels on days off have tried to run me off and whatnot. And it's like, no, I'm a guest here. It's like, see that bus? That's my bus, And there was one time that a sheriff's officer was starting to come over at me, and our rigger was like, no. He belongs to us. I promise.
Awesome.
And there was one time I was standing outside of the bus having a beer in a solo cup with Damian Rogers, RLD for Zombie. And I just finished it, and one of our set carps, Chris Davis, he just comes by and just drops change in it. And then just keeps walking. And it's like, jerk. So then
I would have done that. I love that. Great.
It was great. It was greatness. So Piggy D found out about it and went out and bought me a tin cup to put on my lanyard. And then
I like it.
On Black Label, with Zakk being a hardcore Catholic and everything, it's always Father Whoever. So it's Father Dan, from him. But everyone else on Black Label calls me Boxcar Dan.
Boxcar? Why Boxcar?
Over the 4 years of working with them, there's an actual Ballad of Boxcar Dan that they have written over the 4 years. I don't know how many verses it has, but it can go on for at least 10 minutes.
Why
That's
boxcar? Did you had like a boxcar, or what was why?
Well, kind of like, a hobo on a train,
yeah. So we're back to your homeless, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Back
There's
to my
the
homeless
hobo
thing.
hop in the
So,
boxcar.
Maybe that's the
yep.
next verse. It'll be down on the train.
Maybe, I don't know, but there's a whole ballad to it. It gets pretty funny. I can't wait to hear it again. And it's always our bass tech, Adam Fuller, that's always the one singing it.
Well, maybe that's what he's been doing the last year and a half or whatever it's been. He's been writing more verses.
Writing more. It's going to turn into like Inagata DeVito links.
Right.
What I found really interesting is like Head and Fieldy from Korn.
Sure.
They'll show up before, early, and they just wander around, whatever, bullshitting with us.
They
Jerry
come for
Only
breakfast. They come for
Jerry,
the
right.
Yeah.
But Jerry Only from the Misfits. Okay, since I did a few of the original Misfits stuff, and with Jason Kane, and here comes Jerry Only during our load in, walking around wanting to help with the lighting, and it's like only go away.
So please. I have one for you that you'll like. So actually, first I have a question for you. So did you keep the change out of the solo cup, and did you finish the beer?
Oh, the beer was already done, and yes, I did keep the change.
You're a homeless motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Whenever I went to the first rehearsal ever with Black Label, the first and only rehearsal I've ever done. I will go to this next one because of the new songs, but that, and I'm changing the floor package. But I sat through the whole day, and had all my lights out, did some programming, and then I pulled Zakk to the side, and I'm like, Zakk, what do you want to see? And he goes, I don't know. It's what I hired you for. Those were his exact words. He's like, I don't know. That's what I hired you for. And I'm like, okay, so I have 100% creative control. He goes, yeah. I'm like, cool. This will go one of two ways.
That's go one of two ways. That's awesome.
But it's cool because Zakk was awesome. So I did get to do exactly what I wanted. It was all my color schemes, all my movements, exactly what I wanted. And after the first show, Zakk's sitting, on the bus after loadout. He always looks at people's posts and videos, of the show, and he's always like, Father Dan, come here, look. It's like, lights are sick. It's like it's just all me. Zakk just gives me compliments at the end of the night every night.
So when he's finding these posts, what is that, on Facebook, or where's he finding
Yeah, like Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Fans are posting stuff. Yeah.
How cool is that, man? How did you get the deal? How'd you get the gig with Black Label?
So originally they had contacted Jason Kane, but Jason couldn't do it, and he really, really wanted to. But he was like, damn it, I can't. He's like, but I got the perfect guy for you guys. And so he calls me, and that's how I got it.
That's cool.
And then the last run that COVID canceled, I was busy doing something else. So I had Andy May, one of Matt Mills's guys, go out and fill in for me. And I don't get it. I sent him 2 versions of the show file, and I guess he just didn't use it. And Zakk just finally called me, and he goes, yeah, never again. It has to be used. I'm like, okay, dude.
I have to be careful. I got Matt coming on here, so I can't say nothing. I played the fifth.
Matt Mills?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Well, I do have a question. I got a question. Before we forget, I like to ask everybody. So my buddy has actually a bunch of my buddies now. They all have kids, kind of like you, Daniel. So she's in 5th grade. Now your daughter's younger, but my friend's daughter's in 5th grade. And so she said you need to ask all your guests when they first felt famous. So to make it a broader question, because bear in mind, this is coming from a 5th grade girl. When did you first feel good about yourself? When did you maybe feel famous? When did you feel like a celebrity? When did you smile ear to ear because of what you do for a living? What was there a moment that made you, made you happy with things?
It'd be whenever I LD'd for Lamb of God.
In the first show, or just in general, or what makes you say that?
Well, the first show I was nervous, but I'm a big fan of the guys, but I also knew them personally very well from before, and we were on some tour, I don't remember, and we kept crossing paths on festivals, and the guys, you know, in the band were funny. It's like all of a sudden I kept getting all this free swag and everything. And my buddy Josh Jenkins, who I was working with today, he goes, "Yeah, yeah, they're buttering you up because they're gonna hire you."
Oh, that's cool.
Right. So that felt good, you know, working for a band that I'm a fan of. I mean, I'd already been working for Zombie for a long time before that. So
Yeah.
I'd asked myself that question a while back, when I was doing some introspection, that kind of thing. And there's actually 3 moments. One is first time I played CBGBs, playing bass, right? And man, I thought, wow, I've hit the big time. It was just a great feeling. And then we were there. Actually, we were opening one night, and I think Joey fell off stage, broke his arm, and our guitar player filled in. There's a bunch of stories. It was a lot of chemicals back in those days. Like I said, Quaaludes were really popular. PCP was popular. It was pretty intense, man. So anyway, that's the first time I felt like, wow, I'm like a rock star, right? But life actually gets better. When my oldest daughter, Elizabeth, was preteen, tween, whatever you want to call this stuff, right? Up through her high school years. I could get her into any concert she wanted to backstage, and for the sound checks and everything, you know, Rage Against the Machine, Rage this, Rage that, All Time Low, all her favorite bands, right? And her friends would be outside waiting in line all day, and she just walks right by, you know what I mean? Boom, goes into the thing. So now I feel pretty good, right? Because, you know, I got my daughter a little notoriety. Well, she started DJing, and she's DJing all the local parties and stuff, you know what I mean? So that was really a good feeling. Well, it even gets better. She went to one of these music schools that the kids go to, you know, and they form their band, right? So I was on a very important government gig, and I had to literally take the back seat of an F-18, haul ass, jump in a government limousine and haul ass to her first gig playing bass. And when she got on stage and she started rocking, that was the moment where everything had come full circle for me. There's nothing else left for me to do in this business. Keep in mind, I've done every. I think I sent you the list, but I've done every symphony across the world, man. Every great ballet company. I've done all these operas and all these famous people and stuff. But putting my daughter on stage,
That's cool.
that was the moment that I knew that we've gone full circle in life, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's probably not. I don't know how important that is, but to me, that was it, man. Those are the moments that that when I actually was sitting back doing some reflection and some introspection, that those are the moments that really sat in, man. You know what I mean? That really said, "Wow, that's cool stuff, man."
It is. Maybe it's your legacy. Hey, thanks for watching Party Like a Rock Star. If you're not already subscribed to the Facebook or YouTube channels, do it. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The handle is Party of Stars. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.